Hey, look at all the people joining. Welcome, guys. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm so excited to begin this masterclass with my friend Sue Davis from Fresh Design, a florist out of Pennsylvania. She and I met several years ago, and she's been a details user for, gosh, going on 4 years now, I think, Sue. So
Yeah,
congratulations. Hopefully you just got your anniversary email. I don't know. We started something new, so always new things to do, right? But
always.
yeah, so I was excited because we started these master classes. Hey, welcome everybody. So glad you guys decided to join us live here today. Pretty excited because we had a lot of people register again for these. So if they don't catch us here live, we'll send this out in our newspaper or newsletter with a recap of everything. But I'm really excited to talk with you, Sue.
I'm excited too. Yay. I
Yeah,
love this. This is so fun. I love that I can see people. How do
yeah.
I see more people? I see I have to like scroll
They have
down.
to put themselves on viewable. So I see Samantha Valonga and there's Erica. We love that you guys are sharing and jumping in here. If you have any questions, please raise your hands. This is kind of not as serious of a subject as we normally do. Like we normally talk about contracts or reels or something very businessy, but I really wanted to dig in and talk about like this life as like a florist and what we're all doing and trying to manage like not only ourselves, but our team. And I've attended some of your workshops and I walked away with them with just so much energy and inspiration and just refueled. So I thought this would be, or you would be a great guest to share like your life in flowers with us all. And I feel like 20 questions I pre-sent to Sue in case I get stumped and I'm not like a great host or anything. But would you mind introducing yourself for those of us who might be new to the industry or not have heard of any of your classes, Sue, and like why we know each other?
Yes. Well, first of all, I met Corinne. I call her Corinne, sorry. I just adore detail software, but when I first met her, I was not a fan of spending any money per month on software because I've been a florist for 32 years, doing weddings and events. And so I just was like, what do I need to do this for? I already have a system I use. And we sat down and talked at another workshop, and you shared details with me, and I was like, all right, let me give it a try. And from the day has changed my game in my business. And so my business partner always says, why don't you sell our own stuff the way you sell other people's? Because if I really believe in something, like I am all about it. I'm like, you got to try this, even if it's like caramel, here, taste it. So I just love detail. So I've been kind of a super mega advocate. And I'm right now in the middle of teaching an apprentice class with 12 women florists who have all had a chance to meet you, and several of them purchased details, and they're like already like booking. One lady was like, the first proposal I set out, I booked it, and it was way over anything I'd ever quoted. So it's fun to hear those kinds of responses. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
and who I am, Sue Davis, wedding and event florist, long, long time. Um, have been in the industry for a while. I still really love it. And that's who I am. I'm out of Philadelphia.
Well, and I had you send me over your bio and let me please read it because I did not know some of these things about you. So Sue Davis's career in floral design began 30 years ago. She started with a film and television degree that cultivated her love of the arts. After doing set design for QVC, her passion for creative arts led her into event florals. Okay, let's talk about that for a second because set design is pretty cool. And I would have thought, we are all the set designers for
That's what
these
we do.
levels of events. So I just think it's really cool that you had that background and people come from all different kinds of the sides of the industry to jump into flowers. So what was your
Yeah.
first event like?
Well, I worked for QVC as a trainer. I went to school for television and film, and QVC just began when I started. I think it was 1986 or something. So I went there right after college, hoping to get into the TV side of it, ended up training human resources, and just hated the corporate world, not them in particular, just the corporate world. And that's how I launched into flower design. But because I knew so many people in the floral, in that industry, excuse me, on that QVC, I sort of connected with them and started doing all their set design using flowers. So it was artificial flowers at the time, and then it kind of grew. Who said I'm not that old? Yes, I am. So it was a really great start. I met a lot of celebrities, which was really fun. And it was just a great way to get started in the industry. And I hadn't even touched fresh flowers yet at that point. So from there, got started in fresh flowers, which is a whole nother story. But
Well, I think in television in general, you have to have a personality. And I think if anybody's ever attended a workshop, they realize that Sue has one of the biggest and best personalities on the
thanks.
block. And I feel like you approach like all of your jobs with exactly who you are, and with no apologies really about the type of work you do or what your style is. So how long did it really take you to like build up that confidence? Because I feel like you walk into a job and it's just like you're gonna do it and make it happen.
Well, I grew up with a mom who raised me, and she was very she never really let anything stop her. She was a vice president of a company, and she just taught me to fake it till you make it. And, I've always been super extroverted, but she just kind of taught me this, don't be afraid to try things, and don't be afraid to reach high. So, really from the very first time, and, the funny long story I always tell at Design Sanctuary, which I won't tell now, but if you've ever heard that horrific story of my beginning career, um, I've always kind of been at, like, I walked in and I'm like, we do wedding flowers and da 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 da. My first event was doing a large televised floral, an event for Jimmy Carter came to Philadelphia, and I had a friend who asked me to be and go ahead and do the flowers. So I didn't know anything about fresh flowers. Went to my wholesaler, and they said, or a wholesaler, and they said, just work right out of the boxes. It's fine. You just stick the stuff in, blah blah blah. So my design skills were there, but because I had been doing artificial flowers, but I had never done fresh flowers. So fake it till you make it. I walked in with my business partner. The Secret Service was there. We started designing these floral arrangements that really had red Bouvardia in it. That was like, So we left. It was on TV that night. Everything was alive and happy. The blue delphin, it had to be red, white, and blue delphinium, red Bouvardia, white orchids. Everything looked gorgeous because obviously it had a drink. But that was my first flower job. So I figured, I've always been kind of like, I'll just try it, naive maybe. But, I kind of dive in and then learn to swim.
Yeah. Well, I think it's an important skill to have. And I feel like every florist I know is like a MacGyver.
Yeah.
We are often the people that take the biggest challenge or the biggest, like, I don't know how it's going to happen. And then we are like, yes, I can make that happen, and I'll do it in this short amount of time. Sure. No problem. Was something that you wish you knew when you first started out that someone had told you? Like, is there any?
I wish that I knew. I guess the better answer for me would be, I wish I could have had access to the education that everybody has now. The only education we could get was at our wholesalers through FTD, or, some kind of wire service, or go to the wholesale shows. And florists were not very friendly. Everybody was really close to the chest with their information. And so I wish I had had access. What I wish I knew then that I know now is that it's just flowers. I took everything so seriously in the beginning. And it's not that I don't take my job very serious now, but I know that it's not the end of the world. Like, the worst thing can happen with flowers, and it's not the end of the world. I'm my priorities. I understand life is more important than that. And that helps me take the risks and try things. And, I say it all the time. It's just flowers, settle down. It's not life or death.
Yeah. Well, aren't we so lucky in that regard? Because I feel like we, a lot of times are just working with people in a lot of the most joyful times in their life, even
Yes.
though there's people that do get stressed out about it. I always enjoyed meeting with my clients, or, sometimes there were clients that I'm like, I don't care to work with them. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to. I'll either
Yep.
price really, really high so I don't have to deal
Uh-huh.
with them, or they'll say no. But do you ever turn down a job when you're like, I'm just not feeling it? Like, I just don't
Well,
do it.
no, that's just not the way that I've ever done business, but I would do what, I've never I've always struggled between that sort of blue collar work ethic and then moving into the luxury market. So I do a little both, but I mostly do luxury events at this point because it's kind of where I want to be. But, I still have that hustle in me where it's like if somebody comes to me and they want to use me and they're willing to play my prices, I'll put up with them. The great part of the wedding industry, I mean, I would imagine there's been once or twice where I regretted that I worked with a client
Yeah.
afterward, but I'll just take the work. It's like for me, it's still work, and I still feel responsible to, work hard and you know, get the money.
Yeah. Well, you got to, and that's where the thing is with this type of work is often you don't know where that next job is going to come
Hmm.
from. So a lot of times I'd begrudgingly take a client on,
Yeah, or what it's
but
gonna
only,
lead to, because they
yeah,
lead to another client. And
absolutely.
often some of the clients I've thought that would be the most difficult, and maybe they were, have given me so much business because, first of all, I think their friends know if I was able to work with them, that they're gonna, I must be a saint, So I think, that has helped as well.
That's awesome. Do you ever, so how do you keep the creative juices flowing? Because I feel like you have a million things that you're doing all at once. So I don't think you really have a problem with the creative juice. Like, I think your cup just keeps refilling itself. But how do you keep that energy? And I will have to say, a lot of the people that filled out the survey said wine. So I don't know if this is a
Yes.
common thing among florists, is what they use to decompress,
Uh-huh.
but a lot, like 90% of the people said wine. So
Yeah. Well, definitely decompression. Wine is a great helper for that. And if you watch my lives, I like a good glass of wine. But I think over the years it's ebbed and flowed, But what keeps me the most energized because of my personality type is a new project, some kind of new structure I need to create or problem I need to solve, new installation I don't know how to do, an exciting new proposal that I get to build, which often gets me into events that maybe I'm not very good at the plop and drop, where you just kind of create things and drop them off. That's not always the best business decision. But for me, I wouldn't be able to stay in this industry if it was just plop and drop every week. It's just not who I am. I need something new. I need something challenging. I could make more money maybe on a simpler job, doesn't require as much from me, but I enjoy that stimulation mentally. So I think, the challenge of that is one way. Another way is I really spend a lot of time admiring a lot of other florists' work,
oh, yeah.
not just the great florists that are, well, I shouldn't say great florists who are well known or high Instagram counts. I look at a lot of floral work from probably
Yeah.
you guys too that are watching. I'm always seeing what you're making. And so that helps me to be inspired because I'll see something and I'll be like, I'm going to make that, which either for a client or for an Instagram live or just for myself, so trying new things all the time, being inspired by other people's work. And I think thirdly, just a good work life balance, over the years, learn to get rest, ask for help, hire out, make less money, have more people working with us. Um, you know, not doing, the things that I really don't like to do at this point, getting someone else to do it.
Yeah. I mean, because I know my word of the year is like maintenance. And it's just been kind of taking care of both of that work-life balance, maintaining my house, maintaining everything going on in my kids' life, and then the business here. And I don't think people, when they're first getting into floral design, realize how grueling of a job it is either, or how physically taxing it is on your body. So like after 30 years, like, are you having any like physical effects of this
Oh
job?
yeah, my back is out. I was just talking to my friend, and you guys probably know Beth O'Reilly. She's
Yeah.
just a lifelong florist friend, and she's an incredible worker. But she and I both have bad backs, herniated discs. I'm sure you guys that are watching that are florists that have been doing it for any length of time have the same problems. So yeah, back issues. It's constant. I'm doing yoga all the time, getting shots in my back, and I don't even lift as much as I used to, but it's kind of hard to not pitch in when you see everybody trying to move something. But I've really had to learn to be like, I'm not lifting. I've lifted everything. I'm not doing it anymore.
So do you find that like your team is made up of like a variety of folks of different like calibers and strengths? And do you have like those just like college guys to help you brute force get these things on site, or what does your team look like?
Our team's different every week because we hire contractors. We have a solid group of workers, contractors, and designers that we kind of call on week after week. We have a couple kind of full-time people that are always with us. And then, yes, I get, nephews, strong guys. I'm always out asking, bring your friends. And we pay them to lift everything, lug everything, send them ahead on the jobs to unload. And then we have people that just can, what I call, which I don't know if this is very flattering, but pokers. They don't need to be designers. So we'll hand them, for certain structures, I can say put it here and just do it again and again and again, or hang flowers from an installation. So I'll pay a designer a higher fee and then pay, a bunch of people that just like playing with flowers to do some of the jobs that don't require a lot of knowledge. But that also keeps my juices flowing because I am a people person and I love the people we get to work with. Like, I
Yeah.
love the energy that they have and the fun, like bringing them new people in to those weddings. They're so excited, to get their hands on flowers, and you remember, why you loved it too, especially
Well,
mid-season or end season when you're like, so tired.
I knew 2 years ago, I think it was, and I cannot believe it's been 2 years since I was at the last one that I attended, actually. It was at this gorgeous barn, but you hosted these great flower workshops. You call it Design Sanctuary.
Mhm.
And I'm sure everybody has probably seen your beautiful videos. If they haven't, I will post one in this blog so that they can see. But I really enjoyed the entire experience that you had created for a floral designer. And I feel like it was a great way to decompress from all of the strenuous work, but at the same time, get flooded with beautiful things you might not get to see. And also like share your stories of how hard this job is. So I don't know if you can expand on what you've done. And but I thought it was really brilliant. And I thought that it was really great that you brought in actually like psychologists to help kind of like weed through some of these feelings that we all get from either the rejection from a proposal or
Mhm.
like all the complexities of the work. But
Well, I
yeah, I don't know about
started,
you.
yeah, I started Design Sanctuary from a conversation I had with two local flower farmers in my area, and it was probably 6 years ago or something. And we were mid-season. They were tired. I was tired. They're been doing it a long time, and they came in, and I said, wouldn't it be just fun to just not have any restraints and just be able to build and do whatever we want with these flowers, and also just from pure burnout, just exhaustion. And so that's kind of where it birthed in that conversation. And then I am also am a therapist. I went to school and got my master's in clinical social work while I was a florist, not to become something different, just to learn more. I've always been interested in those things in mental health. So kind of the workshop combines my love for, flowers and then mental health concerns, being able to kind of, keep that excitement going with flowers. So we do all kinds of self-care in the workshop, yoga, um we do some group therapy. It's light, nothing too tough, but I am like licensed to do it. So We do that. We do a lot of, I like the deeper connections that people make. There's a lot of people that leave with great relationships they
Yeah.
can carry forward, because that's one of the ways you can keep your juices going in this business, is to have good friends in the industry and really being able to be friends, even though you get each other's jobs. And I think we model that at Design Sanctuary, because we have a multiple florists in the same area. We bid for the same jobs and we're all really good friends. And, that, I'm not saying, you never feel any of the feelings that, of that, but you are able to process it and support each other and learn that that relationship and that connection so much more valuable than the money, really at the end of the day. So it's got those three components, of, inspiration and design. We really do some beautiful design work, learning, of course, because that's always inspiring to learn, but also the mental health and the physical health piece. So it's become quite the workshop. We are having another one in
Yeah, I
November.
was wondering, well, you've
Yeah.
had them in some pretty extraordinary places. I mean, I think you've had 2 of them in Hawaii.
We had one in Hawaii,
Oh, okay.
but we loved it. It was more because we wanted to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I know.
Like, let's do
Like,
one in Hawaii. Yeah,
France, come on, Sue. No.
exactly. But it's so much work behind the scenes, but it's so worth it. We really, really pamper you guys when you come. I want you to feel, the last one we did hair and makeup, and we always have massage going on, but like we had hair and makeup, and we had everybody actually really done up and photographed professionally, and to be able to be a part of an event, whereas you usually are, dirt under the fingernails, kind of running out of there so you can go get a quick bite to eat before you have to go back. This was an opportunity to create something that you actually sit in, and no bucket cleaning.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, that's the best part, to go and you don't have to do any of the schlepping of the
Right,
buckets. We've all
right.
schlepped so many. So it's nice that your team like takes care of that and you're really more pampered. But there was a bit of like competition in there too. So she
Yes.
kind of splits up the groups into either 3 or 4 teams and then just has the most extraordinary flowers. And it was really great because I feel like it added to people's portfolio as well,
Yeah, and that's the goal too. Give them something to go home with that they can actually say, like this time, the last one, because of COVID, we did one. We didn't do our teams, but it worked out really well because everybody was one team. So we actually had it in November during COVID, and still we kept the number to 15 attendees, and normally it's 30 to 40. It ended up being 19, I think, but it was really, really nice. That no COVID events, nobody got sick, but we were able to provide imagery and luxury imagery for them that they really did do and did make. And it's, so they were able to put that note, learn how to do it, and then put it on their websites, which was, I think, it's a big deal, because when are you ever going to have $10,000 worth of flowers sitting in front of you
well,
that you
and
can use?
for other people that aren't as skilled with doing these large structures, it really gives you a lot of experienced people that are teaching and training. So everyone is like learning from each other too. So I found it like a very valuable experience. You did one exercise in there with different groups of people where you had them pull their 10 most favorite flowers, I think.
Yes, yes.
And make a bouquet with it as you were walking around. And like
Yes.
people were just like listening to this music, and I just pull the most exquisite flowers that are really speaking to my heart. And then you were like, okay, now go throw it in the trash. I was like, what? Like, I just thought it was it was so unexpected. And that's what we all do at the end of these events. So it's, for me, it was always heartbreaking at the end of an event, throwing away these beautiful blooms. And there's, a lot of psychology that goes into that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, the concept, is we do this same exercise every time, and we just gather the flowers kind of suddenly. I don't really want to say it to everybody because then they're going to know, but the idea is learning to enjoy your moments as a florist. I think that, we always work really hard toward an end. We work on deadlines, and, trying to train your brain. I know it's hectic and it's crazy, and sometimes by the fifth bouquet, you just want to like throw it. But, to just take a moment and enjoy the flowers themselves. Enjoy the opportunity you get to do this job.
Yeah.
Smell them. Just take 5 minutes and just enjoy what you're doing, because it is not for money that we do this job. Okay? It is because we chose it, because we love it somewhere, even if you forgot that you love it. And those moments of touching those flowers, smelling those flowers, enjoying those flowers, taking breathing, helps you to connect with your everyday work, because you spend, 40 to 80 hours a week um doing this job. Like, you need to, like, you don't want to just try to get done, which I think is what we all do with a lot, and we miss the moments.
I think it's really nice that a few people have they paid for their entire team to join and go to these events, because we're always looking for new ways to keep our employees happy, or people that are working for us. Like, I even struggle with that here at Details. I bought everybody Panera cookies with my lunch today.
Yes.
So I'm pass them out afterwards. Hey, you guys, I have cookies. But always looking for wonderful things to do and just do as a team, because it's nice to celebrate the people who are working with you side by side. So I was very excited to see that there were a few florists that had actually brought like teams of 3 and 4 to this event.
And it's great. It's a good team building exercise. And it's also a way to train your team. And we love cookies. Train your team and sort of bless them at the same time, because there's a lot of education, there happening. And then, so anyway, people are asking like when it is. The next one is in November in the Philadelphia area. I'll give that information to Corinne, but it's Corrine. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have a good friend in the Philly area that's a florist. Her name's Corinne. We talk all the time, so it just messes me up. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, and I don't ever introduce myself.
I know. Corrine. Anyway, so Corrine, we have the Philadelphia area. Early November is the next design sanctuary, and what was I going to say? I forget. Anyway, it's going to be it's already on we're in negotiations with exactly what venue it's going to be. But it will be again in like the Chadds Ford area where it was last year. So Philadelphia Airport would be the airport that we're entering. But yeah, lots of education, lots of pampering. It's pretty extraordinary.
So for those that can't splurge for an event like this, is there anything else you do for your team, like to uplift your team during like a rough week? Like if they can't get away to go to a sanctuary, what do you do? Day spa, dinner?
Well, we do dinner a lot. Like, if we're out on a job, we will go buy everybody dinner. Not always, but especially on bigger jobs, because that can be quite an expense. But I think there's small ways too. Like my business partner buys, in our area, we have Wawa, which is like a, convenience store, but it's like an everything. You can get healthy food, you can get coffee, all that. She always gives everybody Wawa cards constantly. Hi, Shelly, how are you? Thank you. Yeah, we try to give everybody those cards. We try to give them lots of hugs if they're okay with it. We do, we try to keep an eye on our team throughout the jobs to make sure everybody's okay. And it can just get insane on an install day. And I think giving them a little extra money sometimes is really nice. And just acknowledging, how hard they work. I mean, in our shop, we do dance parties, we'll just like stop playing, we'll be like, okay, time for a dance party, and be crazy,
we love that.
and laugh and be silly. And, I think really caring about each other in your team is important. So.
Yeah, we ask a question on our survey. It's like, do you do anything to help your employees decompress after a big event? And some people, 44% said yes, 44% said no, and 11% said sometimes. And I was like, okay, well, what are we doing here, people? That needs to be 100% yes.
And Samantha just said, Samantha Belonga said she brings a chair massage professional the week of Mother's Day and gives her teams breaks to get massaged. That's really sweet.
Yeah, I love that.
Could be inspired by that for sure.
Yeah, we have we have a list of different things that will prevent burnout. Some of the best ones that we got in the survey. So of course we're going to post this for everybody so that you can give some ideas, but like cooking class was one that came up, and I thought, I bet that's a good fun to see how well your florist might cook if they're as good as putting flowers together. Also, a trip to a winery, which might be something you want to consider and adding to your design sanctuary. I feel like you're so close to those wineries up there in the Northeast.
Yeah, we are. That's not a bad idea. And I think, with Design Sanctuary, we always have to find a place that we can, there's so many things that we need, but there is a winery near us that we have considered actually a couple times. But we definitely bring the wine.
Yeah.
Always nice bars going on and massage chairs. But yeah, I love it. People are saying the massage chair. I think that's a brilliant idea. Maybe I'll do that for my staff one day. I like that. That's really creative to actually do on a busy. We have some jobs coming up this year that I think they're going to need some massage for. So
yeah. Is there anything you like to do to stay motivated too as the year is going on?
Pretty much what I told you is how I stay motivated. I have some event stylists that I work with, and I love to help sort of walk through and create new designs. Like in 2 weeks, or well, it'll be a month prior, we're working up a board right now that we're going to present. And if the client has a lot of creativity in them and a lot of trust, that for me is the most inspiring thing I can have. So we're going to be doing a lot of performance installation. We're going to have, people dressed in floral clothes that are going to be doing some of really fun things in the wedding. It's just going to be surreal. And I think it's going to be out of the box. So having one of those on my docket, anything where I'm going to really get to do something different, versus just repeat the same thing over and over again. I love that. And also style shoots, as much as, they are expensive. I won't do a style shoot unless it's at a venue or a new venue that I want to work in, because I feel like that helps my business and kind of helps, make sense of spending the money. But style shoots are a great way to get out your, and not just repeating what you've already seen, making something you've always wanted to make, and then going all out, just really investing the money in marketing, and making it a fun, creative day where I get to do something I've really wanted to do that I couldn't do for a client.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what we're going to post all of these ideas and everything that you've said, and then plus some others, just to kind of give everyone in our network of a little more inspiration for what they might want to do or plan. I loved going to like the special event show or the wedding MBA to kind of see some new ideas and things that I could incorporate into my business as well, because I feel like a lot of those things, or even Biz Bash, it's all about the experience. And I love that you're having people dressed in like flowers. Like, think of what an extra like upsell that is, or just different ways that you could try, doing something with flower clothes. I know we've done that a few times, I think, at Design Sanctuary, where you completely covered people in flower, and it was just extraordinary.
It's so much fun. And I think, like you said, any education you can get it. There's so much free education right now, very inexpensive education. There's full-on floral programs that you can take. There's just a lot going on and a lot available to keep yourself renewed and excited about your business. And then there's a lot of good business classes you can take. I mean, you can hop on Clubhouse and get free, business education that you're bound to pick up a couple ideas.
Absolutely. And I have some invitations to Clubhouse still, if anybody wants to join it. I'm sure Sue has a bunch too. That's cool. Well, I wanted to open it up. Does anybody have any questions for Sue about anything that she might do? Any particular shoes you like to wear when you're designing in, or must have floral tools?
Shoes that I have to wear. Yes. Yeah. I wear bogs a lot. Okay. Those and especially on like really rainy days, they have some great shoes for working. And I also like to wear my Uggs. I mean, just because they're like wearing slippers all day. But I mean, good shoes are important because you can really hurt your back.
Yeah.
As for cutters, I obviously I don't, sell myself again, but I did start a site called FlowrSoldcom that has like cute aprons and like really fun tool belts and cutters that I think are pretty. Although we can always find cutters that work, but I like to create, share some things that I think are really pretty. So
It really adds to the pictures too, and the photographs when
right?
you have like all of Sue's like gadgets and things she uses. So I would
It's
encourage
fun.
anybody to check out her website. We'll link this in here for the show so that you guys can see, but she's got great aprons, great products. We'll have to figure out like some fun contests to do, Sue.
Yeah, maybe do that. We were talking about doing a basket or something like that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
I like good cutters. I like good cutters, but I also like I forget things. I lay things down all the time. So anything I can have close to me, I like, and anything that's, a little tool belt or anything. I mean, I've been known to put, oh, thank you, Ro. I've been known to put wires on my tools, and then of course I get wound up in something, but I just lose my tools all day, all day long. Where's my
yeah,
cutter?
well,
Where's my cutter?
I know. Well, most of the people that participate in a survey have been in this industry for 10 plus years. So I feel
Wow.
like we have far more users that are like, have been around the block for a little
Hmm.
while. And we've definitely all been feeling like that sense of burnout before, or, really have to stay motivated or inspired. And I feel like the COVID experience this last year has really helped us all get recentered again. And I know that a lot of people are really hungry to get out and play with other people and other lands with
Yes.
other flowers.
Yes, yes, and I think our schedules are getting really booked up.
They
So,
are.
it's tripling up this year, and so I think the work is going to be there. I think pacing ourselves is going to be more important this year than ever because it won't just be this year, but it'll be next year too. Because people who didn't get married over the last year are going to be doing this year. Plus, there's going to be another wave of people who did want to get married this year, but now they can. So they're going to sort of rush in. And then people are going to be really doubling up for next year. So I think the next 2 years, we're going to feel a lot of impact and get, some really fun work, but we'll be pretty, I mean, I'm already booked till the end of November. It's just, this year is going to be insane,
Well, and I feel
insane.
like that is a very good reminder for anybody listening is just to remember to charge your worth because your
Mhm.
time is valuable. And
Yeah.
if if you're going to do something, make it especially worth your while for you and your team. And then remember to take care of the people who are helping you do, this really difficult job. So I feel like those are all really good reminders. And if you need any food for your soul, I would highly recommend signing up for Sue's Design Sanctuary in November, or just participate in one of her classes because I know you're offering additional education all the time, or just different ways to inspire yourself.
Yeah, I think it's good too. We're just finishing up our first round. We did a virtual apprentice program starting in January. So it was January, February, March. It was the first time I ever got to do it because COVID gave the opportunity to me to actually sit down and, you think all the time, I'd love to do a program, but you don't have time to do that. You barely have time to brush your teeth and make your dinner when you're an event florist. So COVID was good in that way because I was able to finally put down sort of everything I know about event work, bouquets, centerpieces, principles and elements of floral design, really like the undergirding that, of getting a real floral education, but doing it all virtually. So I did that and we've had a great response. Some of my students are here, I think,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're so smart and so brilliant. And that is inspiring. So, I
Yeah.
mean, even if you don't get to go and educate, I think giving education to people or teaching somebody something, it's really exciting when they go out and they do it. It's like, what?
Yeah, and I love that you put yourself out there. So many people I feel like have failure to launch and they'll have like all these great ideas, but don't ever put the practice forward. So I feel like you're a true example or someone that anybody could go to. It's like, okay, I have this idea. What do I need to do next? Because I feel
Yeah.
like you're always the person who's showing you guys that you can do it. You can do
And you
anything.
can. And it's like you have to get over the need to be perfect. You
Mm,
know, you just do. I mean, florists, there's so much on Instagram, social media that's discouraging to
mm.
me too. You know, I go on, I'm like, I don't look like that. And I can never get my photos to look that way. And, there's a lot of that, kind of garbage thinking that goes on that discourages you and takes your energy away. So I think when you realize that what people really want, or not everybody, but a lot of people just want to learn something. They don't care about your makeup. They don't care about your hair. They don't care if you dropped your tools in the middle of your live. They really just more identify with somebody that maybe is more like them,
Yeah.
that their kids come barging through the live. You just have to do things and not try to make it perfect, and then that takes the pressure off of yourself too, you
Yeah.
know?
Very guilty. The background is not real. My bookshelf does not look like this.
Right, I was impressed
But
by that, very impressed.
yeah, right. I know I've got the
Yeah,
whole get organized like color, but no, it's fake.
that's cool though. Wow, I love that. It's
Yeah,
so
see,
neat.
I know
But
it's
see, that's what I mean. You just told everybody, "This is fake." So everybody's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I don't have to be that organized because, my laundry's still on the floor," something like that. Like at least, people now go, "Oh, I can get a backdrop." I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, it's a free virtual background. I just checked my
I
books
know.
are just
Shelly's like, "I love it."
some of my others. We've got lots of fun here. I like to mix it up, but I did feel like I was wanting to wear something bright, and I'm like rainbows. We got, hearts and rainbows with Sue, and reigniting what we all do, so, and not to take ourselves so seriously, but I feel like it's very serious business we all deal with,
Very.
but we also all know how to have a lot of fun. And I don't think we would do this if we didn't know how to throw a good party, right? Am I right?
That's so true. I just got back this morning. One of the wedding planners invited me to go down to Cape May and stay overnight and get massages, and we did. And it was. I mean, we all paid for our own way, but I'm like, my season's going to start, and I matter. I matter. I need this. I really need this. And so it was great. It was an expense, but I look at it as I have to take care of my body, I have to take care of my mind, and
I
now I'm
think
ready to
that
go.
might be a write-off too,
Oh, it's all a write-off. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, come
yeah,
on. We need to
yeah.
find ways to like make our money work for us. Go
I
have
know.
more fun at these
Just do
flower shows.
something, do
Yeah.
something.
Cool. Well, I will link all of these wonderful things we've talked about. We have some fun cheat sheets, or I guess we've done our top tens these last few shows. So we'll be sure to include that for you guys with these fun things that we've talked about with Sue. Any parting words, Sue, or does anybody have any questions? No?
And my parting words would be, guys are amazing. You work hard. Um, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, love your work. The students in our class are constantly like, "Oh, I don't think this was good," and they're so good. Their designs are really, really good. And just remember that when we hi, Janelle, um, when we create stuff and we take a picture of it on Instagram and it looks so perfect, believe me, it's manipulated. We're moving the flowers, we're adjusting them, we're adding extra flowers in. So just be careful with your comparison. If your clients are happy with what you do and you made their day, that's what our job is. So be nice to yourself.
Well, thank you. Wonderful words. I thank you guys all for attending. We are going to add this to our monthly newsletter. Please fill out the survey afterwards. And if you have any other good topics or guests that you might like to see on here, please send them over our way because we'll be sure to reach out. But thank you, Sue. Love seeing you.
One
Thank
more
you.
thing. If you
Okay.
guys want anything or need anything, you can DM me on Instagram and I will answer your questions. Like if you're doing something you can't figure out how to do a mechanic, or I have people ask me all the time, and if I know how to do it, I will tell you how I would do it, or I will give you a resource if I can. So just so you know, and I'm sure that is true for everybody here. So
Yeah, awesome. We love you. Have
bye,
a
love you
great day,
too.
everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Bye. Happy
Bye.
Tuesday.
I thank you.
Bye. Thank you.